Why would he create this reality? God created this reality, this human experience, so that he could restore the creation continuum back to its original state prior to the sin and fall of Lucifer. Isaiah 14 and Ezekiel 28 gives a unique perspective into the eternity past. We see a time when everything in heaven operated under the benevolent theocracy of God. Lucifer became lifted up in his own heart and wanted to be like God. Isaiah 14 records the following: How you have fallen from heaven, O star of the morning, son of the dawn. You have been cut down to the earth, you who have weakened the nations. But you said in your heart, I will ascend to heaven. I will raise my throne above the stars of God, and I will sit on the mount of assembly in the recesses of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will make myself like the Most High. Ezekiel 28 reads, You were blameless in your ways from the day you were created until unrighteousness was found in you. By the abundance of your trade you were internally filled with violence, and you sinned. Therefore I have cast you as profane from the mountain of God. And I have destroyed you, O covering cherub, from the midst of the stones of fire. Your heart was lifted up because of your beauty. You corrupted your wisdom by reason of your splendor. Now fast forward approximately 4,000 years to the city of Ephesus. The Apostle John, who spent 3+ years of his adult life with Jesus, wrote about the reason why he came to the earth. In his first epistle to the church, it is recorded in 1 John 3. Everyone who practices sin also practices lawlessness. Sin is lawlessness. And you know that he appeared in order to take away sins, and in him is no sin. No one who abides in him sins. No one who sins has seen him or knows him. Little children, let no one deceive you that the one who practices righteousness is righteous, just as he is righteous. The one who practices sin is of the devil, for the devil has sinned from the beginning. The Son of God appeared for this purpose, that he might destroy the works of the devil. No one who is born of God practices sin, because his seed abides in him, and he cannot sin because he is born of God. This is the macro view that, in my opinion, demonstrates what the American church fails to incorporate while fulfilling its gospel mandate to proclaim salvation to a lost and dying world. Thus it feeds the deception that God sends others to hell needlessly. The American church omits the scriptural reality that those who have become sinners are held captive by Satan to do his will. The American church continually displays negligent behavior patterns, disregarding the conversion of Lucifer to Satan. Matthew 25 records clearly that hell was created for the devil and his angels, not humanity. Humanity only goes there because the church fails to clear up the misunderstanding of the correlation of humanity and hell. This leads directly into the young lady's micro-view. Why would he choose or select 1% to go to heaven with him? God did not choose anybody to go to heaven or hell. He left that choice up to each individual person on this people's planet. Remember Isaiah and Ezekiel describing how Lucifer was created in perfection, yet ultimately made the choice to sin? Lucifer was accountable for his sin because he knew better. In the same way, humanity was created in a state of perfection. Adam was created in the state of perfection as well as Eve. They were not born, but created. Just like Lucifer was created in eternity past, Adam and Eve were created in eternity present. Go back and read the Genesis account. They walked with God, they experienced God unlike you and I, yet ultimately Adam made a choice to sin against God's known command. Every human being born since Adam and Eve was born in a state of innocence. The moral law of God is written on the tablet of their infant heart, yet in their state of innocence, they are not sinners. They have not mentally developed yet where they could make a moral choice to sin against God. Thus, as the newborn baby begins to grow and matures mentally, there comes a moment when they reach the age of accountability. The age of accountability is described in Isaiah chapter 7 in reference to our Lord Jesus Christ. What happens in human beings is they mature to a point where their moral reasoning comes in conflict against their mental reasoning. In every human being, mental reasoning violates moral reasoning, and thus they become a sinner in the eyes of God. Now within the creation continuum, you have Lucifer, who converted into Satan because he made the mental choice to morally sin against God. Every human being upon this people's planet have become sinners when they mentally choose to violate the moral law written on the tablet of their heart. They are no longer viewed by God in a state of innocence. By de facto, every human being is now indicted along with Satan. They now begin to live a life of rebellion and unrighteousness. In order to bring the creation continuum back into alignment with the benevolence and love of God, He Himself initiated the plan of reconciliation to eradicate sin out of the creation continuum through the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus Christ. In John chapter 12, Jesus Himself said, "And I, if I be lifted up from the earth, will draw all men to myself." The word draw in the Greek actually means dragging. An example would be like the disciples dragging a net full of fish into the boat. Within the framework of that dragging, there is resistance by the water. I would ask, why are you resisting Him? But I digress. God has been drawing you to Himself. He is stair-stepping every human being to Himself as He reveals His existence through the revelation of creation, the revelation of conscience, and the revelation of Christ. With each step up, humanity either accepts the revelation or rejects it. Ultimate rejection of any step will result in rejection of God's desire for reconciliation offered as a free gift. Jesus said in John chapter 3 that men love their darkness and they won't come to the light. There are a few who will accept the revelation of creation that there is a God, followed by embracing the revelation of their conscience that there is a moral law and they have violated it. The moral law is thou shalt not lie, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not commit adultery, etc., etc. Yes, the 10 Commandments have been written upon the tablet of your heart by the very finger of God. Every human being that acknowledges they violated these commandments will ultimately climb to the top stair step, acknowledging the revelation of Christ. The death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus Christ is the only remedy to keep humanity out of hell. Thus God initiated and enacted a stairway to heaven for all who would believe, not just 1%.